Hey guys, welcome back, Marish here, and today we have Evil Genius 2, and I'm gonna give you all the tips and tricks I and my brother actually came up with so you can enjoy the game more, less frustration, more enjoyment, as always, here to help. So, let's jump right to the game. Doesn't matter what happens in the backend, you see already, I have it enabled. You have tip number 1, there's money making, make money from Brazil and Afrika. Simple as that. There's a special video dedicated for money making, but here, which is, I call it Brazil, but this region where Smash is and Saber, this is the best per minute where you can get most out of all the regions. Simple as that. Work on those. I need to point out that in Asia, where's Anvil, there is less intel needed, but you make less money, so I don't think it's worth paying attention to that region. Anyways, let's move on. We have quite a lot of tips. So second is research Intruder protocol. Yeah, basically this is about research. In my opinion, you will spend a lot of time where only first and second level is unlocked. Only the rest of the research will be unlocked by the playing, which comes way further. My opinion, first, let's say most beneficial is to get at level 2, you need to unlock it first, but get this Intruder protocol. This is the first one where you can automatically tag enemies. Another side trip, it is distract tagging, but if you tag any super agent or assault team with this and your minions try to distract them, they automatically start a fight, which will bring up any and every guard if there's a camera. So basically there's a workaround that you don't have, for example, this kill tag right away, but it's somehow you can manage by cameras and still tagging them. Similar results if you have Guardposts right there. Then of course stairs. This is especially at the beginning really important to unlock more levels so you can move away not so needed facilities and rooms, basically, so you can get more space where it's needed. And third, of course, just simple as that, is nuclear generator, because the first generator is really bad, so it's not worth making a lot of bad generators. If you then unlock better generators, then you sell them. By selling items, you lose a lot of money. So yeah, those three research, in my opinion, are most important. Damn it, why am keep going on the side? Then one of the best tips I think I can come up with is to reset schemes with minions only schemes. I showed it previously, but my brother also pointed out that you lose intel. It's not only gold. Basically, any region, when you have set of available schemes and there's not the one you want, they are by random. So pick up, find a scheme. There's always one scheme that reduces the heat, which requires only agents. Only agents. Then launch it, cancel it, confirm, done. Now, as you can see, there's a reset and new schemes pop up. This is the best way to basically find and get what you want. If you use a scheme where requirement is intel or money or both of them, you will get only 25% back. So keep that in mind. Tip number 4 we have, that's regarding money making. How to explain quickly. Focus on two things. Find these green money making schemes. They are really long, which is beneficial. You don't need to micromanage. For example, let me find some even better. For example, this runs for 2 hours and 15 minutes and it will generate a lot of money. Even if you divide by money per minute, it's still really good. These two, Brazil and Afrika, as I pointed out, are really the highest value by any every minute money gained. But the profit comes from the scheme that you get heat, and you heat removed by not sending an agent, because that's another hour downtime basically. But you spend these 40,000 to reduce the heat immediately, because right after you can again switch back to making money. Oh, it's gone. So yeah, long money, short heat reduction. Heat reduction, as my brother pointed out, let me show you how it goes. I spend 40,000 and 30 intel. It takes 10 seconds. We wait almost 10 seconds, and at the last moment you can, if you are quick enough, you can pause and cancel. At least 25% you get back, but you see, that's kinda enough. Yeah, a little trick. And then again, I need to refresh and get long money running scheme and repeat until you're rich and famous. Tip number 5. Remove criminal networks to avoid extra agents. Currently, I have removed all the special agents, but especially at the beginning of the game. If and as I suggested to focus on these 2 regions, other regions, my advice, remove those criminal networks that you don't need. You will have main mission and side mission, which will require some time after time to go to specific region. It's quite quickly to send few of your minions, build a network, do the mission, and remove that criminal network at all. Because if you don't have any criminal network, for example, in that region, that agent will never ever come to your base. They're like, well, he's not operating under my banner, we are fine. So this is one of the tips basically to avoid angering a lot of different forces and getting a lot of different special agents, which can be quite frustrating if they all arrive at once. So yeah, just remove those networks and you will be fine from that area. Tip number 6, when you have, I think I have one agent. When you have an agent, this is really annoying because it increases the heat. One of the best ways how to deal with the agent, actually any agent, is immediately when you see it. Well, I will show you the best trick ever. If you launch a scheme, it reduces the heat, but if any scheme is finished while agent is there, you are basically asking for trouble. Now what we do, look at that, we removed heat, agent is still there, and it will, the heat will come back. But once you see the super agent appear there, you find a scheme. Why it's not popping up? Damn you. The long running, where the one that requires 3 minions, and send it, and they, over a quite significant time, 1 hour. Basically what it means, super agent increases the heat, your guys reduce the heat. Overall, agent is always a little bit more powerful, and the heat is slowly coming up. How slowly? For an hour, that agent is literally kind of fighting in this region. You have it locked down. That's the best way, because the agent will not come to your base if you reduce it quite, let's say, slowly, and you can operate in all other regions without any hassle. I will just, as you can see, it started now. For an hour this agent is busy. Keep in mind they can't switch the regions, so pay attention to that, but anyways, you get the idea. Then what we have here is Guardpost with tables at the doors. Of course, this is my famous bottleneck strategy, but it works in any base, and you don't need 4 of them. These are upgraded, this is late endgame, but any map, any minion, any genius you are playing with, you have entrance, at least 2 entrances, mainly in the map you picked. One from casino, and then where's helipad, there's also a potential threat coming in. Anyways, make a guard post right next to it and add the table, because your guys are literally sitting and waiting there. And whenever there's an intruder or something, they pick up, stand up and start a fight. So this is basically the secure way. Don't make that guard room far away from the room. That's basically the main idea. Then the refreshments everywhere. By refreshments, what we mean, refreshments are just, you need to understand, there's vitality, smarts, and morale. All three of them. If minion doesn't do anything or just walk around, nothing happens. But especially when they train, work in a laboratory, work with equipment, any equipment at all, one of the stats usually go down quite quickly. And you need to replenish them by karaoke machine, video games, eating, sleeping, and multimedia, basically all those facilities. My advice, spread them out. Don't put in one place, because if they are hungry, they need to run from far away, and the more time they spend walking, the less time they spend doing evil deeds. For example, I will quickly show you, just sleeping is necessity, so they can sleep here, they can sleep here, they can sleep here, basically anywhere. If one of my guys goes somewhere and then gets tired, there's bed right next to it. If you go down next room, again, sleeping, it's basically spread out evenly. And especially this place, control room, as you can see, they don't need to go upstairs. They can sleep here, they can eat here, they can regenerate smarts here, everything they need, literally. Right, moving on, tip number 9, we have vault, power plant, and lockers are 3 especially rooms that absolutely you don't need them nowhere near to anything. So this is why you especially research stairs, because I can show you, if everything happens right here, as you can see, then down in the building stairs there's a vault. It can be absolutely further away from anything, and generators even further. And let me find, I have somewhere lockers somewhere far away, because these are not the rooms your minions will be using. They are essential for your base, but just put them further away, and everything else closer to minions and where everything happens, right? Few traps at the vault. I think I have, well, few. I built especially one. Reason is simple. Special agents will absolutely disable the traps, and no point for them. What you are making those traps for is when you have deserters, they before desert come most of the time and pick some of your gold. So literally, when your minions are deserting, they're immediately kinda enemies, and your traps will be triggered against them. So for example, I have literally eating flower here, so if anyone decides to desert me, they need to go through this plant that will absolutely eat them, and my gold is safe. Simple as that. Tip number 11, smart regen near laboratory, as I showed actually already. Oh no, I didn't, but laboratory is where most of the magic happens. You get more things, and they take quite some time. What is even more important is your guys, any kind of minions that work in laboratory, their smarts go down so fast, like super fast. Advice simple, they will have morale and everything else quite high, so that's why I have right away their favorite science minion morale, which they can regain and then come back to laboratory. And actually similar thing happens with this control room, where computer arise and anything. You see, the smarts literally are drained. So that's why I have quite close the region for it. Right, What else we have? Laboratory and control rooms. My advice would be to put close. I haven't done it myself because it's quite old gameplay. Learning myself. Reason is simple. These laboratory equipments are used by science minions. Guess what? If, and that will be also one of advice, these balls or globes are being used by quantum chemist, that's a science guy, computer console by scientist, that's a science guy, and if we switch to computer arrays, they all make intel, biologists, all three basically science guys. Yes, you can leave for minions, but your minions will be way much in rotation, so literally you need science guys here and you need science guys in laboratory, so making them one right next to each other kind of makes sense. Tip number 13, not 14. Get fire extinguisher before you need one. That's kind of obvious thing. Fire extinguisher. It can be placed only in corridors, so be aware of that. You can place right in the building, any room, but that's why I have those little pillars, because you can attach. One point I need to mention here is I saw someone bragging that I never had a problem with fire. Like, good job. That doesn't mean it's not. It couldn't be a problem. I will give you two examples how fire happens. One is saboteur agents come and place a bomb, and another one that my brother quite well experienced is if there's a huge shootout and you lose a lot of minions, you will lose a lot of technicians as well. What happens when all of that equipment and these power generators are not maintained? Yes, they start burning. They literally you can get a fire without any enemy agent in the base. You just need to lose more technicians than your equipment actually requires the maintenance. So be aware, placing few fire extinguishers definitely is a better idea than hope that I will be the lucky one. So 14, tip number 14 is extend your base to the casino side. This is something I also haven't utilized, but oh boy, I so wanted this before. So you see, this is the natural first area. Ooh, enemy guys are coming. Oh, this will be fun. Anyways, this room, for example, is absolutely not needed. It is given to me at the beginning, and if I leave it like that, this is absolutely wasted space, and this is wasted space because rarely anyone. Well, you can see absolutely amazing example how I have one trap being. They didn't trigger it twice, but anyways. The point is, right at the beginning, when space is really tight in the base, you can simply pick up a building menu and rebuild this casino into guard room, I don't know, replenishments, food, something, and then work still casino in this casino area. All three maps has really huge space for a casino that is not absolutely needed. So yeah, that's the advice. You can have extra room if you are smart enough. Tip number 15 is at the beginning, one of the tips, especially when you don't have much of fighting force right here, as I do. As you can see, one table is still empty, which is my guys are being trained or eating or sleeping, whatever. 10 to 15 wallets tend to show that they're quite good at holding enemy agents back. What it means, I'll give you a little bit more than that. When you get a wallet, you unlock few of these, how do you call them? Tables, distractions, okay? Then you unlock more distractional minions, and they give you even more such bookmaker and cashier desks, but in all of them only wallet works. So that was quite interesting that you teach get spin doctors and anti-agents, or how they called, but they are still these new unlocked items. You need wallets to work there. So getting 10 or 15 wallets quite soon at the game will eventually still pay back, because you will need them, and they need to be changed because they get tired and whatnot. But yeah, that's just me saying get that number and you should be fine. Tip number 16 is empty vault. Yeah, this is especially at the beginning when you have really limited amount of vault. You will have just, let's say, a little bit room to save the cash, and especially if you work in Smash and Saber territories, you will make a lot of money. Whenever your money is full, just hit the space, no harm done, pause and spend your money firstly. If you don't have full recruitment, you can find it under the minions. Clicking on workers, you see layer capacity and then how much you have. If for any reason you have less than maximum, this is the first place where to spend. Click here, hire now. So you spend money there. Afterwards, just simply build more power, because you will always need more power. And if not, build more vault. Just increase the same size of your vault that is literally limiting you. Just heads up, and everything, doesn't matter what level you are thinking of. At the beginning you have gold pallets, then you have safe rack and mega safe. They are quite expensive. Don't think like, for example, 6,000 to improve by 4,000, like, yeah. Anyways, whenever your vault is full, your minions generating money, that money is wasted, simply. You don't get nothing. So in your, let's say, tactics, you always need to have a room in vault. That's why you have this percentage here. And you have a warning that your vault is full. That means stop it and spend some money right away. And remember, when you build something, it's not spent right away. Your minions need to come here. So that's why spending on recruit is advisable, because that's literally immediate money spent. Okay, you get the idea. Then specialized control room equipment. This is also important, because once you start doing side missions, main missions, you send to get those schemes done, you will have minion rotation. Minion means the default, the yellow ones. If you count to have your minions always be there and generate intel, be aware, they will not be there. Whenever there is a build order, a lot of new generators or vaults required, new mission, someone dies and there's new training needed, your yellow minions will be running there and they will be rotating, they will not sit there. That's why especially I pointed out earlier that you can specialize not only these equipments to use not for the minions but for biologists, these computers for scientists, and these globes for quantum chemists, because one of those three I just mentioned, the science minions, we can take a look here, all three of them. When you research something, only one of them, one type, at the beginning the scientists, later biologists, and then later quantum chemists will go there in laboratory and work on that research. All other of them literally do nothing in your base. If you specialize your control room equipment, they make you intel, which is quite valuable to have. Just simple as that. You get the idea. You're the evil genius. You know stuff. But now you know even more. Point number 18 is always have a minion and money backup. This is especially when you decide to push main mission or something. My brother was really putting emphasis on this, because There was a mission, but I think it was specially meant for his evil genius, where once triggered, he had special force agents disguised, and basically his base was immediately attacked, as far as I understand, with a lot of enemies, and he was not prepared for this. He didn't had any spare money. He spent it already in somewhere. Then all his base was wiped out, and he was able to recover by recruiting quickly new minions, but that's basically the point. You need money to recruit when your guys die a lot, and that's where you burn money a lot. And of course, if you spend, I don't know, bunch of minions right now to get new skin, wait a little bit until your minion base is refreshed. As you can see, my numbers, well, they are fully... Basically now I'm prepared. I have money, I have minions, waiting for anything to happen. Because if you play the first time, and even I don't know exactly the sequence, some challenging things can turn up at your base door. Tip number 19 we have, do the side store and don't rush the main. I really hate this. It's coming from the first game as well. You have basically main mission goes the story 1, 2, 3, blah blah blah, straight line. Side stories, you have loot, henchmen, yeah, basically loot and henchmen. But anyways, there's a lot of different... For one henchman you have a side mission, for another henchman you have another 3 or 4 linear missions, then you have loot. Loot is quite simpler, but the problem is side missions can be done one by one. You can't enable and do 2 at the same time, which somehow leads to the point where if you go main mission and side mission all the time, there will be a lot of side missions just left undone. I think if you if you try to push them both in the same time, there's at least half of the whole side missions left, and you will finish the game and you will never ever see all the henchmen, all the loot you can get. And why I'm explaining this, first of all, henchmen are pretty unique and cool to use. If you don't like them, you can execute and get some other. But even more, I absolutely like all this cool stuff. Oh yeah, there's motorbike. Anyways, cool stuff that you can steal. For example, there's only these zapper guns you can get if you steal this cool item. Then you get a sarcophag where guys can regain health. They literally jump in and get health. and then there's this timeless watch that, yeah, none of these tables need to be repaired ever. These loot things are pretty cool. I'd say they are a little bit more unique than in Evil Genius 1. So yeah, this trap that shoots arrows, funny as it is. Anyways, you get the idea. Get side missions. They're absolutely awesome. Disable doors for control rooms. Yeah. Remember there was advice to move some rooms further away. One of them is, for example, a control room. Even if it's set on level 1, your guys will spend time opening and closing doors, which is really annoying. If you imagine how much minions are coming through my 45 hours playthrough, so simple solution is just disable the electricity. They will, you see, they need to stand, and who has time for that? Because if you have everything worked out, not a single enemy will come here. And even if they come, there's not a single door that can stop any enemy agents. They take 2-3 seconds and they open every single fucking door. Those doors are absolutely pointless, to be honest. So disabling them, you can have them for aesthetics or whatever, but yeah, disable so it's more efficient. Tip number 21 is for casino. Remember, I gave advice to remove, for example, this one room. You can get it. That means you need to plan out your casino better. You see, this is not, if it's not the best, of course, but if enemy comes and goes straight to my base, you see there's a blocker that leads to either one side or another side. There's another thing that catches their attention. When they pass it, there's another. They always drink. If they don't drink, they can't straight go to the door. They need to go around. So basically, it's a zigzag between all the distractions, where they will be engaging with each and every one of them, and at the end, they are distracted and they just go home. So yeah, plan your casino good. Tip number 22 is disable special agents before arriving. I can't demonstrate. No, I think I can. Let me trigger. One agent I left specially to just mess around with. Let me see. When there's an agent in a region, and when you launch it, yeah, when you finish a scheme there, this one, especially red marking, jumping exclamation mark will appear. Pay attention, it stays only for 1 minute. And this is the mission, as you can see. The John Steel is coming, or whatever super agent, but if you spend quite a lot of minions, but doesn't matter, it is super advisable, because the agent, when it comes, brings some soldiers with them. If you do this mission, those soldiers will be super weak. If you don't do this mission, they will be super strong. This is basically how my brother got his base wiped out. Olga came with the death squad, and you know, one thing leads to another, and yeah. So yeah, these missions, pay attention when they are triggered, when agent is triggered. Yeah. Then we have next, these walls are mandatory. You can, if you pay attention, figure it out from this screen, but simple as that. Remember, I will point out that if the wall is just one square thick, the fire will spread out of it anyways. Also, if you have a door can get a fire. So basically, there will be the fire is jumping quite further away, and if there is explosions going on, they go through the walls, and it doesn't matter. So that led to the point where the walls are not needed. And for example, if there's enemy coming in, my guys from armory, from smarts, from eating, from all of those rooms, if there's attention needed, they all see through. So, and of course, I save space because walls are not there. There are, for example, this is one good example. Let me show. You see how it's placed? It's literally the access to this thing is outside of the room. If there was a wall, this would not be possible. So there's a lot of things, especially here as well, where the training thing needs access from all sides. Without those walls, you can have way compact base, which leaves you more room for anything else. So yeah, you get the idea. Walls are needed for few things. One of them is fire extinguisher, another one is for cameras. And as you can see, that can be done with 4 of those pillars here from both sides, and that's it. And of course, some of the rooms you need attachments to the wall, but there will always be walls at the outside of your base, right? So anyways, moving on, we have tip number 24. Few body disposals at fighting spots. As you can see, I have a quite, let's say, known place where the fighting happens, right there. And there will be a body bags, and as you can see, right next to, there's this kind of counts as power station, but It's not for power, it's literally for these incendiary darts where the body bags are being burned, okay? Not all the boards are meant for guys who don't speak English, the native language. So, as you can see, they take quite small space. They're literally 3 times 2 square, and I built 4 of them. So if there's I don't know, 3 squads coming in, by 3 bags all the time, they can be burned down, and those body bags are removed quite fast. I advise to do that for you as well. Maybe 2 or 3 such burning stations will be enough, but yeah, you will see that it's really, and it's not only when you kill enemy agents, your agents die and your minions die as well. Those bags must be burned as well. Last but not least, tip number 25 is influence intel game. You will find a situation, especially, I need to point out once again, the smash and saber. I can actually show, I think, not that, here. 4th level upgrade, it requires 30 intel, which is quite a lot. If you have all the regions upgraded, 4 times 3, 120 intel, which is quite a lot, so you can't enable them all at once. One thing leads to another, you need a lot of intel, especially later in the game, if you want to launch missions, whatnot, reduced heat and whatnot, you will need intel. This is, I will just show you, this is one of the places how I do it. As you can see, all of these make intel. I advise you to make such place where they are compactly together. And then every evil genius have this work area. If you enable it, you can see basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, literally kinda 8 to 6 stations are being affected by this one thing. And as you can see, well, you can't see because I have full influence, but this makes a lot of influence. And this is, to be honest, if you're not fighting and doing anything else with your main boss, this is the main thing your boss is best at it. Just showing minions, come here, make me intel. Because when you have intel, when you have that money in the region where I showed you how to do it, when you have security and everything is so easy, to be honest. Okay, that was the last tip. I will add one more because I have mixed feelings, that's why I didn't put it here, but I will remove that gray bar, is about the henchmen. As funny as it goes, I don't have, but there's this samurai guy that can jump through the space and you can basically summon him anywhere. To be honest, he's good. He's good. Everyone says so. Everyone said so also in the first Evil Genius. I don't like him. I liked every single other henchman. But in this game, when sometimes the maps are really huge. If my henchman, for example, is sitting right here, I don't know, replenishing health, and then suddenly, somewhere, super agent appears, there literally was a time when I sent my henchman and I was like, okay, where are you? God damn it, my minions are just literally dying there. My henchman is way stronger. Once the henchman arrives finally, the fight is already over. My last minions managed to kill it. I'm like, where were you? So this is where this samurai dude kicks in. You can pick him right away at the beginning. Yes, that summon ability, and he's quite powerful, especially at the beginning, where it's really essential when you don't have all the forces and everything. Yes, I will agree. He's one of the most useful henchmen, especially at the beginning. Later on in the game, those henchmen lose their need for them. But yeah. Anyways, you get the idea. Now, go there, be an evil genius. Let me know down in the comment section if you have any questions, suggestions, advices. There's way more for sure, but those 25 tips and tricks should be fine for you to get your plan and dominate the world. So make me proud, and we will meet in next videos. Cheers.